Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
I'm Mara McDonald, live in Macomb County. It is an absolute mess. Some people still haven't made it home after work.
I'm Roger Weber in Redford Township. Water in basements, water on Telegraph. 1 minute they're driving, the next minute they're floating.
And unbelievable pictures, dozens of people surrounded by water needing a rescue. Good evening. We Metro Detroiters have never seen pervasive flooding like this around here. Virtually all of Metro Detroit is waterlogged tonight.
Yeah, basements flooded, neighborhoods all turned into waterfront property, and don't even talk about the evening ride home. As Mara mentioned, some folks haven't made it yet. Just about every major highway is underwater somewhere, some part of it. And MDOT says, in fact, it may not recede in time for the morning rush. So we've got headaches that could go on into tomorrow. Let's start our live coverage tonight with Tim Pamplin. A number of people had to be rescued tonight, and Tim, this is one of the most unbelievable pictures of the night, what you're showing us right there. I believe you're at I-75 and 696.
I am. I hope you're seated, because when you look at this, you're lost for words, basically. But as I zoom in down here, you'll see that's a 14-foot-8 bridge. That's 75 under 696. That's 14-foot-8 inches of water right there, crossing the entire north and southbound lanes of 75. I'm right over the split here. Now, this is the ramp going up to 696. I've traveled along 75 all evening since the rain started about 5, 6 o'clock tonight, watching rescue after rescue. See this dump truck down here? The driver, I spoke to him. You'll hear from him in the story in just a few minutes when we roll the videotape. But he said he was coming up the ramp here from 75 southbound, thought he had cleared the flood, and then suddenly, well, roll the tape. Let's listen to what he has to say. That's Jerome Baker on top of his vehicle there. Wayne State University student got caught in the flash flood. Hazel Park firefighters scaling fences to drop him a rope. He ties that around his waist, jumps in, and gets rescued by the firefighters. He said it happened very quickly.
By the time, the flood came up, I heard the police hollering at me and told me, get on top of the car and wait for help.
As soon as Jerome was out the water, firefighters had another rescue on their hands. Again, 9 Mile and 75. This time it's Nabil Kana. He's counting his blessings.
What am I gonna do? I lost my car, all my paper, all my stuff in the car.
But you're safe.
I'm safe, yeah, thank you.
There's 14-foot bridges and there's 12 foot of water.
That's Craig Payne. He works, ironically, for a waterproofing company. He was driving his dump truck up 75, getting off at 696, when all hell broke loose.
I was clear, and I was just getting ready to go over, and then like a 20-foot wave of water came over top of me, and the bank and everything. One of the state troopers, I forget his name, but I thank him for coming out and helping me out, putting a rope on me and getting me out. It was nice of him to take and risk his life to come down and help me with mine.
So yeah, they put a rope around him and got him out of his vehicle. But as you can see, the mudslide down here is pretty intense. He said the water was gushing like a gorge as the water flowed down the ramp here. Now, look over here. This is one of the culprits. That's one of those cylindrical cement things you see along the freeway. That's a pumping station. That's where the water was gushing out of. It simply could not keep up, I'm being told. And water started spewing down the embankment and off the service drive here. The entire service drive of 75 is now closed southbound, going through Royal Oak here under 696. But as we come back over here, it's just amazing when you look. 13 feet of water right there. It's not going anywhere. And then you have several tons of earth that came down the embankment. I'm being told a total of 32 vehicles are stuck under 75 and 696. Police, Royal Oak, Hazel Park, fire departments, got everybody out. Everybody's safe and accounted for here, but there are lots of vehicles under there, lots of cleanup. Southbound 75 is not going to be open for several days. As I spin around here now, with 75 being shut down, you've got a major problem. All these big semis that come up and down 75 now have to detour off of 75 on the service drive, but it's closed because of the landslide, so they're going into neighborhoods. Now, I just got told by one of the Michigan State troopers overseeing things here that that's not an option now. That street down there, a semi has gotten stuck under a tree, so you can't go down there. So basically, a lot of these drivers are going around in circles. Not much for them to do because there's nowhere for them to go. Devon? Back to you guys.
Well, Tim, that's what I think you just made the point I was going to ask about. We can only see the tip of that truck. There are other vehicles that are completely submerged under that water that we're seeing right now then, right?
A total of 32 vehicles. You can see
32.
Water bubbling up here from the manhole covers. A total of 32 vehicles down there. Again, that's, what is that? I can't quite make it out. 14 feet of water. And it is actually now over that girder there. So it's a little bit over, almost 15 feet of water. And you just don't know what to do. I mean, the question has to come, how did this happen? How was this able to happen? And when you see this pumping station here, having water spewing out the top of it, and then the one further down, when I was further down near 75, the initial video, 75 and 94, there was water coming out of that pumping station as well. So there's lots of questions to be answered here. There's another semi here, gets itself stuck. Right, there you go, he made it around there, but very tight turning around on these bridges here.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Crazy set of problems here.
Tim, you've been all around the world. I don't think I've ever heard you quite this excited before about anything that you're looking at.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, it sounds like
I've seen some floods in my times, but this is unfathomable. It's like, I mean, gravity has got to work here somewhere. It's got to go down, but it's not. It continues. As I zoom in here, it's still going up. Well, the rain's been stopped for 3 or 4 hours now.
All right, Tim, that is a great snapshot of what's happening there, but what makes this even more unfathomable is that this is just one location. We're going to take you around the metro area here because highways everywhere are flooded, and not quite like that one, but MDOT, again, makes the point that the water may not recede overnight, not just at 696 and 75, but on these other freeways. Tomorrow morning's rush hour shapes up to be a mystery right now.
And you can see why. Here's just one example, by the way. The problem is Tim just showed you, this is I-75 at 9 Mile. Flood water has taken out part of the road, the guardrail, and the embankment. Just a wild mess out there tonight. Our Hank Winchester just got off the phone with MDOT. He joins us live right now with the latest from them. Hank?
And Ruth and Devin, when you look at these images, like Tim said, it's really unbelievable. When you have semis and SUVs that can't get through the water, you realize the scope of the problem. Take a look right now at some live pictures. These coming to us from the Southfield and Grand River. Now, the situation here, not only were we dealing with a lot of water over the roadway, but you can also see what's left behind once the water cleared. A lot of the embankment made its way down onto the Southfield. So the Southfield now covered with dirt, covered with mud, and several vehicles, we're told, are still stranded out on that roadway. The headline tonight from MDOT is this: if you are home right now, stay there. Do not go outside because there are problems not only on major roadways but also side streets. The other important information that MDOT is passing on this evening is that tomorrow could also be very tricky. Take a look. The video almost looks like something out of a movie. Roads completely covered with water. Drivers stranded. 696, 75, 94. And side streets all over the Metro Detroit area flooded. MDOT keeping a close eye on what's happening right now. And even those who were totally focused on roads 24/7 admit this is unlike anything they've seen before. I just spoke with Diane Cross from MDOT on the phone.
We had so much rain, and all of that water, a great deal of it seems to be on our freeways. And if you think about it, because of all the rain we've had, there's nowhere for this water to go. We don't have anywhere to drain the water to. Our pump stations have been overloaded on the freeways.
And it's not just water. Mini mudslides now taking place all along 696 from 75 to 94. Unfortunately, the problem may stick around for the morning commute.
Just assume maybe tomorrow morning you need to get up extra early, maybe plan an alternate route, because until all of this water is off our major roads,